This video project grew from an original idea by Dr. Deb Cassidy, faculty at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. Her vision was to show how quality early education can be achieved in many ways. By filming in a variety of diverse, inclusive settings with unique program goals and philosophies, it is our intent to offer you two important perspectives, those of the teachers as well as the children. Using their own words, 3 preschool teachers describe their daily practices. Using the Kid Cam, you will see through the eyes of the children how they experience learning in a high-quality atmosphere. As you watch a typical preschool day, consider the critical role teachers play in facilitating children's development and learning. These skilled teachers have a deep knowledge of early childhood education and developmentally appropriate practices. They have years of experience to guide their decision-making, planning, and classroom management. They are supported by programs who offer low teacher-child ratios, strong administrative leadership, and ongoing professional development. Welcome to a day in the life of teachers and preschoolers.
Come on, Miss London, come dance. We got to get them wiggles out. I've been in the field for over 24 years, and I've been at Martin-Dixon Intergeneration Center for the last 3 years. And I am very proud to work there. It's a very small community-oriented center. We only have 3 classrooms, and I just like the way that we work together as a colleagues, as a school family, and I use that word with adults as well as my children. I feel that we are a school family at Martin-Dixon. Every morning we start out with music and movement. I'm aware that children need to get themselves loose and be ready to learn. And we also talk about body space and awareness, because you never know what they've done before they came to school, and it helps them to get their brain flowing and being ready to learn.
Can I get a green one since I'm not going to really eat it?
Sure. You said a strawberry, you're getting a blueberry. We are the demonstration site for Gifford County with an enhanced outdoor learning environment, which allows the children to learn outside as much as they do inside.
Upside down.
Good morning. Hi, Beckett. Hi, Grandpa. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good. You can say it. Oops. Excuse me.
Back at the same time. Well, both at the same time.
Would you like to play with Madeline after you do your artwork? Yes? Can you use your words and tell her? Say, I'll play with you when I'm finished doing my artwork.
After I finish my artwork.
We serve children ages birth to kindergarten, and we are a lab school setting on the campus of the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. We serve children who are typically developing as well as children that have special needs, so we are an inclusive program.
I'm finished.
And there was a 6 and a 9.
I'm finished.
I like what you made, Liam. It looks like a racetrack.
What is this activity?
What do you think this activity is?
I think we're going to make seashells and paint.
Put seashells in paint, and then what do you think we would do with it after we put the seashells in the paint?
We are going to put in what?
Oh, put in a rock. Would you like a piece of paper so you can explore with those things?
Later.
Later? Okay.
Does this plane do any tricks?
Let's see. Right now, my friend is building an airplane. And in order for his airplane to fly, he's learning that he needs to manipulate the paper in various ways. To fly the space cruiser, chomp on the back half with your hand, just like it's getting eaten with a giant sock puppet alien. So you have to chomp on it like that.
Hey, Peyton.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
Grant's gonna pick her up today. Probably after lunch.
Okay. On a typical day in our classroom, all centers are open for free choice activities.
We can make green and light green.
You're gonna see what?
Green and light green.
The Minion movie. Is this the aunt that makes you all the beautiful clothes? No. We have activities or morning choices in each of the centers that the children can choose from. They're welcome to move freely from center to center as they want. On this particular day, I'm leading a focused activity in the art area based on an observation that I got of children sorting nature materials the day before. So you had a good idea. You said that you would take a piece of nature and roll it. Do you want to try to do that? Do you want to try to do that and see what happens? See if you can. Go ahead. How does it feel to paint with pieces of nature? How does that feel, Madeline?
Yes, it's a pirate.
Good. What does it feel like?
No. It feels like you're in nature.
It feels like you're in nature.
Yeah, with stuff falling with paint.
The curriculum is always evolving as we plan from day to day. We don't look back at previous plans from years before or days before and try to recreate those same plans. The reason is the children are different, the individual children have different ideas, and the different groups from year to year are very different in the things that they're interested in. So we are always trying to learn from the children the things that they want to know more about and use their interests to take their learning in a different direction. And it really makes the curriculum and the activities in the classroom a lot more fun for the children.
Good morning. What did we say to Miss Street for taking care of you guys? Thank you, and we love you.
It is early on in our summer program, and we are getting ready to do our center choice time.
So we're going to stand up and we're going to take a tour of the classroom because we need to know what's in our classroom, right?
Yeah.
So that you guys will be able to play and be safe in your centers, okay? This week, since it's our first week, we've got to make some new class promises or class rules. Hey, London, is there a rule that you remember that you think we should use over here?
Good listening ears.
Good listening ears. We have that on our Show Me 5, listening ears. Charleston, what'd you use in Miss Mills' room?
Don't kick people.
Don't kick people. Keep your body parts to
Shelf.
yourself. So can we stand up and walk around to our centers and then we'll choose one. Let's start over here at computer.
So we're going to walk around to the different centers and explain the materials that are in the centers and the different expectations. And as we walk around to the different centers, we talk about how many children can be in that center or workspace.
Oh, I see some new things out over here. What is this?
I can see on the children's face that they're getting excited about the play and the different things that are in the classroom. And also sometimes children might not want to go to the science area, but once I introduce the materials over there, that makes them more eager to go over there and play.
What do you think? Yeah. Maybe your start can be
On a tile?
Yeah. The runway can go from the tile through the block center. All right, how do you spell start? After building their airplanes, they decide to make an airport. When flying the airplanes inside, there are boundaries that the children need to follow, creating a space that is, one, safe, and two, where they can actually see how far their airplane can go.
Do you know why we're using nature to paint this morning? Yesterday, Wesley and William were sorting the pieces of nature from our nature box, and they were trying to guess what kinds of trees these different things came from, or where in nature they came from. Throughout the activity, children are in all the centers of the classroom working on different activities, and I have to stay focused on the children I'm working with, but also be aware of everything else that's going on in the different centers of the classroom. William and Wesley, please use walking feet. Wesley, are you choosing to work in the sensory table now? What do you think you and William might want to do in the house area?
Where's Willie?
That's a good idea. Thank you for remembering to clean up your work in the house area before you go to a new space. I have baby pine cones back here to paint with, William. Would you like to do it? William, you can choose to do this activity even if Wesley does not choose to do this activity.
These two children are pretty good friends, and they love to play together in the classroom. One of the children wants to resist, so I remind him that it's okay to do something different than his friend's doing and that he can go back and play with his friend when he's finished. As you can tell, that works for him.
So today I thought we could explore with some of these pieces in a different way by using them for painting. Remember, we're using nature to paint on paper today, Grant.
I also reminded this child that he was interested in the nature items the day before. He was the one that I observed sorting all of the nature items, and it helps him to understand that he has ownership in this classroom and that the things that he does are all taken into account and valued in the classroom.
You look a little like the Hulk now.
So at this point in the day, some of the children are starting to clean up. And I do have one child who has been focused on lots of other things other than my art activity. So at this point, I'm trying to talk with him about how we're going to be cleaning up soon, and I don't want him to miss the opportunity to participate in the art activity.
No, 'cause I don't like that painting.
You don't like painting? Do you remember yesterday when you and William were looking at the pine cones and the pieces of wood from the branch that I cut?
How did you do it?
Would you like to come look at the art table and see what the activity is and then decide if you'd like to do it? Okay, do you want to bring that with you? Okay, bring it with you and let's go look.
He's very engaged in his activity, and I don't want him to feel like that he's going to miss out on what he's interested in. So I offer him the opportunity to bring those things with him so that he doesn't lose that. He comes back to the art table and I explain to him what we're doing in the focused activity. I allow him to look at what his friends have done and look at the materials he can use and give him the option, do you want to participate in this activity or not?
Go look at what your friends made. Would you like to make a piece of paper? You can put your sand in your letter right here while you're working if you'd like to do some artwork. And then you can go back and play with those friends.
Change my mind.
You do not want to do artwork? Okay, I'm gonna clean it up, okay?
Although in the end this child decided not to participate in my activity, he was able to make an educated choice once he saw everything that was available to him in the classroom.
If you have on purple shoes.
Now we're getting ready to choose our centers, and instead of using their names, I decide to describe what they have on that day. And this also is another way of color recognition and recognizing the uniqueness within the students themselves.
If you have beads in your hair, you got to be aware of what you got on. Choose a center.
I made one for him and her and me.
That was very kind of you.
In this particular conversation, I asked the children if they thanked her for making them airplanes.
What could you say to her? Did they? Thank you for remembering your good manners, friends.
You'll notice that as the year goes on, they start to kind of take on and do and own the classroom without your guidance. As a teacher, this makes me feel very proud of the children in the classroom, that they're good friends, they're taking care of each other, and that they value each other the way that I want them to be valued.
You got it. You got strong muscle.
In our manipulative center, we observe them through play. This little girl enjoys that one-on-one time, and then I follow her lead.
Is that at the bottom of the necklace or the top of the necklace?
We're talking about colors, we're talking about the different sizes, pattern, we even counted a little bit. So I'm able to meet all those objectives and goals with her, and she's doing it in her own creative way.
Can I get a high five?
You did.
You did it.
Sometimes the children were like, no, I'm not ready to finish, and I can encourage them by saying, well, when you come back, you can come back and play with this. I'll keep it safe.
Let's put it up here with that, and then when you come back in the classroom, you can put it on.
That just shows them that we respect anything that they've done in the classroom.
Cafeteria. we'll keep it right here, and this means that you're coming back to it, okay?
Yay!
You like that?
Pass me the
Allison knows magic?
Pass me that.
Really?
During meal times, the teachers like to sit with the children and make it a pro-social time of the day. The children are encouraged to serve themselves whatever they might need while talking about the things that are important to them. So even though the conversations jump around from place to place, the teachers just facilitate that conversation and allow it to be kind of a fun time, an enjoyable time to be together and to talk about fun things.
What do you think they do while they're awake down there?
Play. They play. One time when my mom picked Lucy up, she just had like a costume on, and she had her shoes off, and when my mom came and picked her up, she was like dancing around.
The older generation, they bring a lot of wisdom and support and let me know that I'm doing a great job educating our future leaders.
Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you for using your manners. And Justice, remember, you're going to try to cough into your arm.
And also at mealtime, the grandmothers are good for the social etiquette and manners, some things that sometimes our generation is not mindful of.
This is kind of big, and cut it down like that, okay? Now, get that one out of the way. Or you can start here. Either way. All right, Will, thanks for waiting. We like to bring in our food from the garden and let the children help prepare it. They're experiencing garden to table. They're experiencing what a squash looks like, what it feels like, how it tastes. And we've also cooked the squash, and we're gonna think of different ways to prepare it so they can enjoy it. The children are preparing their own snack. They're taking whatever they want to eat, and they'll put it in their bowls and go to their tables with their friends. It's important that children learn to serve themselves because they know how much they want to eat. This allows the children to get in those self-help skills and experience that healthy eating is good eating.
Hey, I know how to open it.
Yeah, you're 4. 4-year-old hands can do a whole lot. The children pretty much decide where they want to sit and who they want to sit with just to have good conversation.
Shake it. Yeah, I melt.
Yeah.
Your friend melt.
You can do a lot of things at 4 years old. The children that decided that they wanted to help prepare the food, we acknowledge that they did a great job, and we thank them for choosing that work that day.
Hey, Miss Buck, do you want to see my mad happy face?
That's your mad.
You want to see my mad happy face? You want to see my mad happy face?
I've never heard that before, a mad happy face. That was funny. That was funny.
My mad happy face. Okay, I'm ready.
So you have the 2 feelings at the same time?
Is Kilimanjaro a real mountain? Camp Kilimanjaro.
I've heard of that before.
Well, is it a real Camp Kilimanjaro?
Well, we can research that. Did you see our book on caves? But there are mountain caves? Prior to this day, the children started bringing chairs to the middle of the room, and I asked them, what were you doing with the chairs? And they said, well, we're building caves. And this kind of became infectious in the classroom, and everybody wanted to start building caves. The children are preparing their caves. I come over to them to ask, what can I do to help? You gonna try it?
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I have to go in the caves to look around a little bit to make sure it's safe.
Okay, I think that's not safe.
So we need to rethink it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me what kind of hideout you're trying to make?
So I'm trying to make something that looks like this but is way safer.
Something that looks like that but safer. Do you have a name for it? So I began to ask questions because I wanted him to use problem-solving skills to figure out whether the entryway was too small or too big. Okay. So is your hideout, let's see, we talked about caves.
It is a cave.
Okay. So what does the cave?
It has an escape door like Batman's hideout.
So does it have an entrance and an exit? No, just one way in and one way out.
It only has way in, no way out.
No way out. Okay. Let me see. Let's look at this.
What's this one?
Let's turn it that way.
Underwater.
Now this is an old cave. They call it prehistoric caves. So that looks like it has two ways in there. Ooh, that's actually inside one.
I definitely want to build one like that.
So,
Are these two bigger or smaller than this one right here?
And I'm actually showing this little girl a means of comparison when we move the different men around to talk about the different sizes.
Yes, these two are the same, and I think this one's a little bit bigger. Can I put it over there to see?
It helps me to build upon what they already know and then to plan for the next lesson.
It's important for adults working with children to remember that things that are important to children may not always be the things that we think are important. These two children are working together to help clean up in the kitchen, and unexpectedly they have different ideas about how the chairs should be stacked. So as you notice, they're different colors, and there's a disagreement about the pattern in which the way the chairs should be stacked. The teachers notice what's going on and hear the disagreement with the children, but we try to stand back and let them see if they can figure it out, and ultimately they end up agreeing on a way to stack the chairs.
Do you have a favorite color?
Yeah.
What's your favorite color?
Orange.
Orange?
Yeah.
Orange, and you picked up an orange square. Guess who else likes orange in here? Justice.
I always try to get the children to engage with one another, and sometimes they might be a little shy at first, but as the year goes on, it gets better.
Where's London?
London is right there. She has on an orange shirt. London, Pink has some words for you. Can you walk over? And then you can go back and play. He just wants to tell you something. I don't know. I think she likes orange and purple, but you can ask her. This is King. He has a question for you. He said that he likes orange. Do you like orange? You don't like orange anymore? Your colors switched on us. She likes this color down here too. What color is that? Purple. He just asked. I said London likes orange, and she even has on an orange shirt. But that's okay if your favorite colors switch. Mine's do sometime too.
I always try to get the children to engage with one another, and sometimes they might be a little shy at first, but as the year goes on, it gets better.
You don't like pink? No. I wear it sometimes. It's okay to wear that color if you don't like it.
raise your hand if you would like to tell Miss Ashley one reason why people use caves. Maddie.
Because they use caves so nobody will see them.
Yeah, it's a hiding spot, and we read that they call them something. They call them a word. Start with a B.
I know. Bandits.
Bandits. So the children did some research about various caves that exist. What started as play ended up being a really important project for them. And Brooks thought that he should make a cave like that this morning. And he did just that. And so maybe when you look through this book, you might want to draw a cave like what you see. Other caves that we have are mountain caves. I heard this morning Adam say Kilimanjaro. And then Alexis asked me, Miss Buffy, is that really a mountain? We can research it and see. I've heard about it. And the sign in front of that says Pain Cave.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Does pain mean
I don't know.
Yes, it actually does. Pain does.
And then here's the last one we did. This is Miss Amber's favorite.
Ice caves.
Hey, you read that word. Catch it, catch it, catch it. Good job, Adam.
It's okay to have wheels. This person is in a wheelchair, and it's okay. You might have a friend at your new school in a wheelchair. Yes. And you'll be kind to them and help them.
This is story time, which is incorporated into our day. I have several different story times. I am reading a book about differences, how it's okay to be different.
It's okay to be different sizes. Let's go over our sizes again. Small, medium, large, extra large.
Each year I choose different books, and I feel like I have a good eye for books that work well in the pre-K school environment.
Large, extra large. And it's okay.
During story time, I still have to scan the classroom and be mindful of what's going on in the story time environment. I noticed while reading that these two friends were starting to be a distraction to one another.
It's okay to say no to bad things. If someone is doing something that you don't like, you don't have to do it. You can say no and walk away. Or if you need our help at school, please come tell us, okay? I would like for Alice to move over beside Charleston. Miss Alice, we're going to help you keep your body safe. Can you move behind Charleston and King? Because I want to make sure you know what we're talking about.
And I had to invite one to move to a different spot on the carpet so that they could stay safe and focus on our story time and the skills that we were learning during story time.
Thank you. We use our words in this class. It's okay to come from a different planet.
After the redirection, the girls were able to refocus. In general, if I start to lose the interest of most of the kids, then I will adjust the timing of our group time.
The chair, did it hit you? The chair, where did the chair hit you? Your elbow. Do you have a boo-boo on it now? Can I look at it?
Here you see the classroom moving into a large group activity that my co-teacher is leading. So as I help assist the children in participating with this activity, I see that there's a little girl who's hurt.
Here, she's going to give you some. Thank you.
So this is what
Thanks
I'm
for
going
sharing.
to do. I'm going to say, who has the letter T in their name?
You.
I do. So if I have popsicle sticks, I'm going to bring my popsicle stick and I'm going to put it in my clear container.
I speak with her briefly about what happened and if she's okay, and then I try to guide her thinking into what the activity is doing. The many skills that are going on with the children in this particular activity, turn taking, listening, letter identification, graphing, counting and using numbers, are pre-kindergarten readiness skills that feel like a game to the children.
What letter is this? A. Think in your mind, who has the letter A in their name? If you have the letter A in your name,
I do.
you can walk peacefully up
No, you
here and
don't.
put your popsicle stick in the bucket.
I have an A. Does everyone get a turn?
To write numbers?
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, Carson is
Would you
writing
like to have
the
a turn to
number
write the
8.
numbers? Okay.
Awesome, thank you, Carson. All right, are we ready for the
That 8
next
looks
letter?
great, Carson.
As the activity starts to come to an end, you'll notice that the little girl who was injured in the first part of the activity has forgotten about her boo-boo and is now enthusiastically participating in the activity.
Wait, do you want to put this on the shelf behind you? Are you finished with it? And we'll clean it in a little while. Okay, you ready? Oh, look, what letter is this?
Madison, do you have a G in your nose?
No.
I don't
No, but you know what? One friend does.
This is one of the small group activities that I lead throughout the day. We are working on name recognition, writing their name, spelling their name, and we do it in a fun way.
All right, who's ready? It looks like London's ready. London, can you hold up your card and we're going to help you spell your name? Oh, you going to point to it for him? Okay. L. O. N. That's an N. D. Y. N. So what is her first name? London.
This is an activity where I meet the child where they are, and if they are able to write in upper and lowercase, then we do that. But if they are only able to write in uppercase letters, then that's fine. We want to just go back over the skills that they need for when they're going to kindergarten.
A-A-H-M-I-R.
Okay, so job here.
The importance of the curriculum doesn't stop inside the classroom, but flows outside the classroom as well. When thinking about gross motor time for the children, we are intentional about the activities and the materials that we put out for the children to explore. On this playground, we have gross motor equipment and materials and activities. However, it's important to note that there's a garden, there's many natural characteristics on this playground for the children to explore as well.
Do you still want this bucket?
Sure.
Okay. What do you want to do with it now?
Hey, Christy, I got a great idea.
All right, let's go.
Come on, I'll show you. Let's see. Let's show all of it.
Watch out for the race cars. Gosh, that's a good idea.
This little girl has a hard time letting go of things that she's interested in and engaged in. So as we start our cleanup time on the playground to get ready to go inside, I help her find a safe place to put her worm.
It's almost the same color as the leaf. Do you think this would be a safe place for him since he's almost the color of the leaf?
I don't know.
I think it might be. It makes him a little camouflage. So then other bugs can't see him that might want to eat him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little bit red on his face.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I see that.
We have over there that we can eat lunch on.
The table.
The picnic tables. Miss Alice, can you join us? And we have the trikes for a bike path.
And the swing.
So, I have a question for you. We do have helmets for the bikes.
Let's go see the toys.
Hold on. The swings are wet. But if someone is swinging this way, should I be standing right here?
No.
Well, in our outdoor space, there are several things that the children can do. One being, as soon as we open the gate, they're starting to run on that pathway. They ride the riding toys. They use the dump trucks, swinging. They can cook in the mud kitchen. They can read books in the fairy garden. They can do art at the tables, paint at the easels. They can play in the sandbox, and they can also plant in the garden as well as water the existing plants. They can pretty much have freedom to do whatever it is that they like.
I'll take that back if you don't mind, and I'll give you your work back. We'll trade. Thank you, sir. Girls, are you finding blackberries and blueberries? How do you know when they're ripe? How do you know when the blackberries are ripe?
The children love to be in the garden to harvest blueberries, strawberries. They're hunting for food all the time, and they are allowed to do so at their leisure.
What about the blueberries? How do you know when it's time to eat the blueberries? When they turn blue. Are you finding any? Ooh, that's a pretty one.
I just found a yellow jacket.
It's okay, we stand still. Did you see me stand still? Did you see me? Did you see me?
I found this one.
When those tomatoes start, we gotta do something with all those tomatoes. We're gonna, Bella, oh my goodness. That is the biggest one I have seen yet. You were working really hard to find one, Bella. I'm so happy that you found one.
When children are helping in the classroom, it's important to make it fun for them and to put that responsibility on the children. So we like to ask the children things that they think are important to help with.
How do you think we should clean up today?
Maybe we could, I think the best is rock and roll cleanup.
Rock and roll cleanup?
Yeah, we haven't did that in a long time.
We haven't done that in a long time, you're right.
I think that would be the best cleanup. 'Cause I loved rock and roll cleanup whenever we did that.
Okay, it's a fun cleanup. So when you're finished with your artwork, can you check our classroom and make sure it's safe and that there's nothing that's broken or dangerous for our friends? Thank you. It takes 5 minutes to clean up. Go ahead. They're waiting.
5 minutes to clean up. You can have your shoes off if you want.
Did you guys hear Carson? How many more minutes to clean up? 5. Carson, can they have their shoes on if they want to?
Yep.
So in allowing them to come up with these ideas, we create a job board based on their ideas. And that way, the children take responsibility for their own classroom. These children really like doing jobs in the classroom. It makes them feel important, and they take these roles very seriously. So as you can see, he has found a ruler that is broken, and that could be sharp. So he brings it to my attention, and we have a little discussion about what might need to happen with the ruler at that point. This keeps me from telling him what to do and allows him to think about the choices that we have to make with broken toys in our classroom.
You did find something broken. And that could be dangerous. That's really sharp.
I'd like this child to come up with the answer to my question about what to do with the ruler so that he can make choices independently when adults aren't around to guide his thinking.
Where do you think it might have to go? Yeah, you can put it in the trash can. We have more rulers. You can put it in the trash can. Thank you for helping keep our classroom safe. If you want.
Music and dancing are an important part of our everyday curriculum. So this is one way we can incorporate music and dancing into cleanup time and making this time of the day a little bit more fun. I think that's what you meant.
Block area complete. You're right.
We like to use music and movement to transition from one activity to another, and that's important that the children move around throughout the day to get that heart rate up and get them ready for their next experience.
You like that, girls? Can you try it? Can your arms go up? Bring them up, bring them down.
In this particular song, the children made these moves up to go with the lyrics of the song.
You gonna try it? There's no limit to what you can do, 'cause it all belongs to you. Yes, it all belongs to you.
The move that you're looking at right now, the young man wearing the camera made that move up because he's in Taekwondo class. If a child has a good idea, it is our philosophy that we expand on that idea, get everything out of it that the child was looking to get. This ended up being a dance that was performed for their families at graduation.
Do the gauge. The what? The boom. Boom.
Okay, Jamir? You want me to cover you up more? Okay. I'm in school now for my master's in special education because each year we have different students come in, and I want to make sure that I can serve the children and families to my best ability. I want to make sure that we are a 5-star quality center. There you go.
Yeah, that's your bed, Abby.
I feel that I've been called to do what I do because the love that I have for people, and being able to have that experience every day from a 4- and 5-year-old perspective is such a joy because I see them mature right before my eyes.
It's time to rest your body. I'll come sit with you in a minute. I really like the relationship that I have with them, what I know about them, about their families, about their interests. And each child knows those things about me too. They know things that I'm interested in, they know about my family, and we just have that personal connection, and that's really nice. And it makes me really excited when I get to see those children progress over time because I do have that personal relationship with them.
As you watched Christy, Buffy, and Paula navigate through a busy day, their skills and knowledge are evident. Preschool teachers are not babysitters. They help families build early foundations for children to become caring individuals and lifelong learners. We hope you'll join us to advance the work of our colleague and dear friend Deb Cassidy. It was her lifelong passion and mission to improve early childhood education and better the lives of early childhood professionals.